Where have all the homebuyers gone in Orlando? That's what a lot of news organizations are saying as headlines, as our market is in flux. Things are not the same today as they were 6 months ago. And so today, I thought I would give you some facts that you can actually use to help you make better decisions if you're thinking about buying or selling your house here in Central Florida. Stay tuned. Buying a house is an emotional decision. And when you look at the news organizations 6, 7 months ago, a year ago, they were pushing the narrative that the market is on fire, everything's crazy, hurry up and go buy a house. And then now things are changing, right? Based on the market pullback, the stock market pullback, the Bitcoin pullback. It's very easy to even the most analytical person to get caught up in the narrative. And what I want you to have today is really some facts-based stuff that you can take back to your family, you can take back to your friends at the bar, you can take it to work and really be armed with the knowledge of what's going on in today's market. So number one reason why I'm hearing that people do not want to buy a house is interest rates. And so I actually broke down, and I'll put a little screenshot here, of the difference between a 4% interest rate, which is what it was back in January when the market was white hot, and today at 5.5%. Essentially, a 5.5% mortgage of $400,000 is going to cost you roughly $2,271 per month. And that's actually up from $1,910 back in January. And so you really think about it, $200 to the average family is a lot of money, but it's not a massive amount different when you're looking at what's going on in the marketplace. They just hear interest rates have gone up, so obviously it's going to be way more unaffordable. But if you break it down, things haven't changed all that much since January. But what about the market pullback? Let's talk about that. When we hear about a market pullback, a lot of people assume that prices are falling left and right. Let's face it, you're seeing more price reductions today on listings than we have in years. But let's actually talk about the final sale prices of what's going on today. Back in January, the average single-family home here in Central Florida in the 5-county area was $395,000. If you look at July of this year, the average sales price was $412,000. Now, this first week of September just closed out, and the average sales price for the past week of a single-family home has actually increased to $417,000. And that sort of bucks the narrative of that the prices are pulling back. Now, are there a lot of price decreases? Absolutely. Are there a lot of sellers that got a little bit over their skis in regards to what they thought their house was actually worth? Absolutely. See, a year ago, you could have listed your house for $500,000, even if it was only worth $450,000, and you still would have got offers. Today, you have to be smart about it. You actually have to look at market conditions. You have to look at your upgrades or lack of upgrades and make a decision based on what's going on in the market if you actually want to sell. So if prices aren't actually pulling back, what's actually the opportunity for buyers in today's market? Well, you have less buyers looking because many buyers are sitting on the fence just sort of waiting to see what happens. So what's happening is sellers are getting more realistic and taking a little bit less than their list price. I think this is good. The data suggests that 90 days ago, sellers were getting 99.9% of their list to sale ratio, meaning that anything they listed it for, they're typically getting it. In today's market, on average, sellers are getting 97% of what they're asking. And so while prices are still going up, sellers are getting a little bit more comfortable with the idea that they might not get exactly what they ask. All right, so 3 more things to consider, and you're looking at buying or selling a house. The next one would be builder incentives and what's going on. See, in 08, 09, builders shut down. You had people going out of business left and right, and that left us with something like 1.5 million homes that were never built, that never showed up in our current market. And so over the past 5-6 years, builders have been trying to catch up, buying land, trying to figure out the supply issue, trying to figure out the labor issue, and it's become this issue where we didn't have enough homes for the amount of buyers that were looking. Now you have more supply in the new construction realm home than there are buyers. The reason being is many buyers are a little skittish. They're like, I don't know what's going to happen a year from now, so I would rather go on resale, buy something that I know that it's going to be mine in 30 days. I know the interest rate, I know the market, I'm locked in, right? So many builders are counteracting this with new option money, either free lots or a discount lot. They're giving you financial incentives to lock in your rate for like 6, 9, 10 months. A lot of things to just get you back in the door. This is opportunity for buyers if you take advantage of it. And I think that that's one big thing that people are missing in today's market. Counting down the 6 things, we've got 2 more for you. One, I look at the past 7 days of the 5-county area that my team and I service here in the Central Florida market. That is Orange, Osceola, Lake, Seminole, and Polk counties. When we're looking at average listings versus pendings, I'm looking for a trend to find out, are there going to be more listings that hit the market than actually sell? And if that happens, then that means the market is really shifting in a certain way, in a bad way. But over the past 3 weeks, we've actually seen more homes go pending than hit the market, meaning that we're still in a seller's market. And so again, this whole idea of a pullback really doesn't make sense when you look at the data. Now, add in a good job market and a lot of other positive things for our local economy, and I think that we're going to continue to do well for years to come. All right, so this last fact or data point, if you will, is a little bit more anecdotal than anything, but you look at the rental market here in Central Florida and things are still climbing. A lot of that's because buyers are like on the fence of, do I buy or do I rent? One story that I can share with you from my own personal experience is I have a duplex in Soto. It's south of downtown. It's a really cool area. And we listed that thing for lease and we had 62 applications in 2 weeks. I got to be extremely picky as a landlord on people that had good credit, good income, no crazy background or anything like that. And so when you look at one place, 62 applications, that kind of shows you that there's still plenty of demand for people in the area, living in the area, that are kind of on the fence. Like, do they buy, do they rent, and that sort of thing. And so when you're going through some of these things, making decisions on if rents are going up, I could buy a house, lock in my price regardless of what's going on. To me, that makes sense. I know it needs to make sense to you though. So let me know down in the comments below. Are you looking at renting somewhere or would you rather buy? Like I said in the opener, buying or selling a house is an emotional decision. Even the most analytical person can talk themselves into or out of a place at any given time. But you walk into that kitchen and your spouse sees the white quartz countertops that they always wanted to see, or the big backyard that they always wanted, and you make that emotional decision based on where you're at. In my opinion, there's never a bad time to buy a house if your horizon is long enough. If you're one of these people that want to speculate with real estate, where you're popping in and popping out all the time, and you're trying to buy a house, flip it in 2 months and that kind of thing, now is probably not the time. There's a lot of uncertainty in the market, right? If you're looking at buying a house and your horizon is 5 to 7 years, then maybe now's the time. And so reach out, info@positgroup.com. We'd love to help any way that we can, at least guide you in the process, whether that's today or years from now. I have personal clients of mine that are closing today that first reached out 3 years ago. And so we're here to help. So hit that subscribe button as we're putting out new videos every single week about life here in Orlando. We'll see you guys on the next video.